Earlier, I pointed toward a tension that rarely feels like regression. It usually feels like growth. More revenue, more clients, more activity. From the outside, it looks like expansion. It looks like movement in the right direction. But underneath that expansion, something quieter can begin to build. Not loss of progress, not a breakdown, something heavier. The same patterns continuing, just carrying more weight each time. And because growth is visible, the repetition underneath it often goes unnoticed. This shows up first in how effort is experienced. Same type of work that once felt manageable begins to feel heavier. Not different, just more. It stays hidden because results are continuing. Revenue increases, output increases, expectations increase. From the outside, it looks like scaling. From the inside, something begins to repeat. An all too familiar problem appears again, but now it requires more coordination. A known pattern surfaces, but now it carries higher stakes. And over time, the cost of the same decisions begin to rise. The cost is not immediate. It shows up in how much energy is required to maintain what already exists. Decisions take longer. Conversations expand. Expectations require more alignment. And it keeps going. Because nothing is failing. Nothing is visibly wrong. The system continues, but at a higher cost. And over time, that cost becomes difficult to separate from what appears to be growth. What are you still doing the same way, only now it costs more to sustain? Now, if this was a live session and we had people on this platform right now able to speak, we'll start seeing some patterns begin to surface. Some would describe growth that feels heavier than expected. Others would notice that familiar challenges have not disappeared, only expanded. Someone might recognize how often they revisit the same type of decisions, now at a larger scale. Another might describe a sense of progress that still feels repetitive. There will be stories of leaders who are achieving more but experiencing less ease. Of teams that grow in size while carrying the same underlying patterns. Some would notice that problems once solved continue to return in new forms. Others will recognize a quiet increase in effort without a clear shift in direction. No one would call it stagnation. They would call it growth. And over time, that interpretation allows the repetition to continue. The patterns would sound reasonable. That is why they persist. Now, this tension does not need to be resolved right here. It does not require interruption. You can carry it back with you without changing anything right now. Just notice where something repeats and costs more each time. And let whatever belongs to that become visible in its own time.